For centuries, commerce was tethered to geography. You needed a physical building and local inventory. Today, those concrete constraints have dissolved into data. Electronic business, or e-business, refers to the execution of core commercial activities, buying, selling, customer service, and marketing, conducted entirely across electronic networks. Unlike traditional brick-and-mortar stores, which rely on heavy physical infrastructure, this model strips away the friction. Transactions that once took days of logistics now occur in milliseconds. This shift required a massive build-out. Early attempts at digital integration demanded heavy, localized hardware just to establish a simple network connection. To understand how we arrived at a frictionless global economy, we must trace the specific pathways of modern e-business, from the vectors that route its capital to the security protocols that keep it intact. E-business functions as a foundational operating system for the global economy. This digital economy is routed through four specific, highly organized transactional vectors. The first is business to business, or B2B. In this quadrant, transaction volume is massive and the end consumer is absent. This is a manufacturer sourcing raw materials from a commercial supplier, moving bulk inventory along digital supply chains. Next is the business to consumer, or B2C vector. This is the retail layer. It routes finished products from a central corporate node directly to multiple individual users, offering global access to single buyers. Then we have consumer to consumer, C2C. Digital marketplaces provide the infrastructure, but the transaction routes directly between two individuals, providing instant liquidity for used goods without a corporate middleman. Finally, there is an inward-facing vector, intra-business commerce. These are closed-loop electronic transactions contained within a single organization, allowing employees to access and update internal databases in real time. Every piece of data, every unit of capital, and every physical product in the modern commercial network is routed through one of these four paths. Operating within this digital matrix requires a specific set of trade-offs, which we can visualize on this balance scale. On the positive side, businesses reduce overhead and expand their market reach. In turn, consumers gain 24/7 accessibility, allowing them to compare prices and make purchases at any hour. These efficiencies extend to the societal level. Centralized distribution reduces physical traffic and pollution, while the demand for digital infrastructure creates new sectors of employment. However, there are inherent costs. The ultimate vulnerability is structural. The entire system has an absolute dependence on the grid. A power outage, a server crash, or an internet failure results in total operational paralysis. Digital commerce is an act of trading physical friction for technological vulnerability. To see how these systems execute a sale, we can isolate a single B2C transaction. This 5-step pipeline visualizes the exact sequence. It begins with data capture. A user registers an account, logging their location and identity, and curates a digital shopping cart with their selected goods. Then the system hits step 3, the payment choke point. This is where the digital interface must securely connect with financial institutions to transfer capital. Consumer credit used to be a strictly physical identifier, as seen on this 1959 card, which relied on embossed numbers and ink signatures to authorize a transfer. Today, that physical verification is replaced by digital data, direct debit deductions, net banking portals, digital wallets, and instant bank-to-bank UPI transfers. Once capital clears the choke point, the transaction moves to step 4, physical delivery. This is followed by step 5, the after-sales service loop, handling returns and warranties. Because real capital flows through this pipeline, it is under constant attack. Viruses, malware, hackers, and phishing campaigns constantly probe the network for vulnerabilities. To survive, the pipeline requires structural defenses. Secure HTTPS protocols encrypt data in transit, and two-factor authentication ensures that the person authorizing the payment is the account holder. A digital transaction is only as reliable as the security protocols shielding its financial choke points. Once a business digitizes its core operations, physical proximity is no longer required. The company can distribute its departments across different geographic locations. This leads to outsourcing, the strategic decoupling of non-core business functions, routing them to external, specialized agencies. Tasks like bulk data entry, IT maintenance, accounting, and massive customer support networks, like the one shown here, can be handed off to dedicated facilities. By externalizing these tasks, the primary business reduces its operating costs and can focus exclusively on its primary mission. But decoupling introduces risks. The parent company surrenders direct managerial control over the outsourced workforce, and sharing internal databases with external agencies creates a threat to confidentiality. Outsourcing transforms a bloated corporation into a lean node supported by a constellation of specialized partners. When combined, these components form the integrated network of modern commerce. It is an efficient, deeply interconnected model, operating in a constant state of tension against the threats of technological failure and security breaches. Success in this environment depends on precise systems engineering. This digital framework dictates the movement of inventory and capital, syncing the logistical rhythm of our cities to the speed of the network. By optimizing these transaction vectors and fortifying these pipelines, businesses define the digital horizon.